What's up, YouTube? This is Random Nation coming at you real quick, and today is the anniversary of 9/11. If you don't know what 9/11 is, do a little Google search, maybe a little YouTubing, whatever you want to do, but basically it is the anniversary of the World Trade Center attacks, which involved both the World Trade Centers collapsing as well as some other buildings that you don't really hear a whole lot about. Also, the plane crash in the Pennsylvania field and the plane crashing into the Pentagon. And I'm all for remembering these times. I do understand the concept to remember these times, and people should remember these times. I mean, you should show your respect to the people that have passed and show remembrance to stuff like this happened. The only thing that really aggravates me a little bit about the entire situation, and I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, because like I said before, I do appreciate and do understand why everybody wants to remember it, but I also feel that when it gets to December 7th, we should also have the same kind of respect and the same kind of remembrance for Pearl Harbor. And we don't. I know a lot of people say, oh, I see stuff every year about Pearl. Well, not like you do for 9/11. You might see one or two clips about Pearl Harbor. They might even talk about it on the news for a couple of days, if that. But that's pretty much it. You don't really hear, long stories into it. All you hear is, this is the anniversary of Pearl Harbor. Here's a couple of veterans, and then that's pretty much it, And it shouldn't be that way. It should be seen with the same respect that we show 9/11. And 9/11 deserves the respect that it gets. It deserves all those people. There were so many people that died in 9/11, and it's sad that we lost that many people. I remember the day very well. I remember begging, just pleading that I was wanting to go up there to try to help. Of course, they grounded all flights, so of course, me being all the way down in Georgia at the time, there wasn't no way for me to get up there in any kind of reasonable fashion to where I could actually get up there and help by the time they got everything situated. Even if I'd have gotten a car and drove, it's like 2-3 day drive just to get up there. So I wouldn't have been able to get up there in time to really do any kind of major help. I might have been able to do a little bit of cleanup, but for the most part, they blocked everything off and had government-paid construction crews coming in there cleaning everything up. So there wasn't really a whole lot of volunteer work that could be done. Now, I will say, as far as Pearl Harbor goes, there was a lot of loss of life then, too. And there were people that immediately after that had to go into war. Even during that had to go into war. It wasn't just a few months down the road. It was like the next day, just about. They were going into war, and people were losing their lives still repeatedly over and over and over for years after Pearl Harbor. It wasn't just a couple of day thing. So when people talk about 9/11, yes, after 9/11 we did go to war against the Taliban. The thing is we were already at war with the Taliban. It wasn't like it's, oh, well, these people just attacked us, let's go to war. No, we were already at war with them. We just hadn't fully pushed into it like we were able to after 9/11. 9/11 gave us the ability to say, hey, enough is enough. We got a full-scale attack against us. We can go attack back. Because the rules of war now. Back in the Pearl Harbor days, the rules were a little bit different. So we were already in the wars. We were already fighting. We were already losing people. We had so much going on back then. So there's a lot of stuff that people don't really understand about the concept of, yes, 9/11 lost a lot of people. And I do feel so bad for all the families of the people that lost their family and friends.
I wanted to say a cool fact I just pulled up. There are only 5 survivors left from Pearl Harbor who served.
Yeah, there's only 5 people left alive.
Their names are Lauren Bruner, who is 98, Louis Conter, who is 97, Lonnie Cook is 98. Ken Potts is 97. And Don Stratton is 96.
I mean, these people should be respected the same way the people from 9/11 are. And I understand the firefighters and the police and all the volunteers that went in there to help should be respected as well. They should be shown the same respect. And it just irks me when it gets, because, December 8th is my birthday, so I remember Pearl Harbor very well, because when I was in school, I was learning about it. I was like, dude, that was the day before my birthday. Mind you, it was years before I was born, but it was the day before my birthday. So, of course, I studied into it. I learned a lot about Pearl Harbor. And,
my grandfather served in Pearl Harbor.
When Pearl Harbor happened, you have ships out there that are sinking and people that are on them ships and they're drowning. And there's other people that are having to dive in the water to try to pull them out of the water and to try to help them out of the ships. And there was, I don't remember who it was, but one of the guys that was at Pearl Harbor, he was on one of the rescue boats that was out there trying to rescue people out of the boats. And, when the boat flips over, when it's sinking and everything, the people, of course, that are in the boat don't quite realize the boat is flipped over, so they're swimming up, in the water. They're swimming up in the water trying to get to where they can get air. Just because it's natural instinct, you're trying to swim up to air. And they're getting to the bottom of the boat, and they could hear them banging on the bottom of the boat, and there was nothing they could do. They're sitting there having to listen to these people banging on the bottom of the boat, wanting to get out, wanting to survive. They're having to hear these people. And they're literally listening to people dying right below their feet, and there's nothing they can do about it. They can't cut into it because the fact they didn't have the tools at the time to really do that kind of work that fast like we have now. So, can you imagine being there at Pearl Harbor? You're trying to rescue somebody, and you're mere inches from saving their life. All you have to do is get through a couple of inches of metal, and you could save their life, but you can't. All you can hear is, help! That has to be horrific. And 9/11 was bad too, because with 9/11 there was people that were trying to go into the building to go in to save people, and they were watching these people jump off the building because they realized there's no escape, that there's no way of getting out of those top floors. So they were jumping off the building saying, I would rather fall to my death than burn alive. Or they're not even thinking clearly because the smoke has done filled their lungs, and they're at the point of just trying to get some fresh air, so they're busting windows out and jumping out it just to get fresh air, only to realize after they get out the window, they just jumped out of a window. So, I mean, it's really sad, guys. I will say that if you ever see any soldiers or you ever see any firemen or police officers, we need to show them respect. You need to tell them thank you for what they do. And if you don't understand the concept of why we show respect at these times, take a look around you. Look at this. You see this beautiful park? This is beautiful, right? If we didn't have these soldiers, and we didn't have these police officers, and we didn't have these firemen, and we didn't have all these heroes that we have had in our past and in our future in this country, we wouldn't have these parks like this. We wouldn't have the air that we breathe every day, because we probably wouldn't be alive. We probably would be either dead or slaves in some kind of encampment. The things that people put for granted every day, just breathing, just living, just having a home of your own, saying that you own something.
Power, water.
The phone or the computer that you're watching this video on right now. If we hadn't had these heroes, there's a chance you probably wouldn't even have this now. You wouldn't be able to see this video of me talking about it. So, while there's people out there that want to talk crap and make jokes about 9/11 and make jokes about Pearl Harbor or make jokes about police officers, saying police officers are horrible and say firemen are horrible and all these military people are horrible, realize that the things that you have every day in your life that you enjoy, you wouldn't have if it wasn't for them people. This is Random Nation. I'm praying for everybody out there today, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day. Look forward to another year of freedom.